left-hand side, this is the ask. Now, when we zoom into the actual candle, what it shows us is blue delta. Now, what does this blue delta represent? This blue delta represents the fact that there are more aggressive buy orders than sell orders. Now, specifically what this means is that the ask is a lot greater than the bid. And so this translates to there being more aggressive buyers than aggressive sellers, right? There are more aggressive buyers, mind my spelling, there are more aggressive buyers than aggressive sellers, right? That's all that's happening over here. The ask is big over here, right? The ask is greater than the bid, right? We see that through blue delta. So the power of the footprint charts is that you can see, without reading all the numbers, who is more aggressive and hence who is passive. And who is passive is telling us whether we want to be going long or short. So think about it this way. If we break below the zone, which is basically what we had over here. So we break below the zone here. So you want to ask yourself, if we see this sort of price action here, right? So if we break below the zone, were all these buyers over here successful, right? All these buyers on the footprint charts, were they successful? Well, the answer is no, they weren't, right? All these buy orders here were trapped. And so this is what I want every trader to understand, right? It's not that there are more sellers than buyers or more buyers than sellers. Here, there's actually more market buy orders. So the market, let me spell this right. So the market buy orders, right, which is what you see on the footprint charts, are greater than the market sell orders. So in other words, who is sitting here at this key level? So this is now 68.84 to 68.80. Who is sitting over here that's responsible for the lower prices? Well, in this region here, there are what we call passive sellers, right? These are passive sellers that are responsible for the lower prices. So when you're coming into a key level, you need to understand this basic concept. Passive sellers drive price down. And so my execution came today or yesterday, right? My execution came at 60. So if you just take a look here, it came at 68.70, right? 68.70 was the main execution. So now when we go back to the charts, we want to kind of understand 68.70 was the main execution. So I'm looking for essentially this break and retest, right? So break, retest, and then 68.70 was the execution, right? So I was happy to have my kind of stop just above this long wick over here, right? This long wick over here was just where I was happy to have my stops. And we want to be targeting the recent low down here, right? That's a 1 to 1.5 risk reward, right? So in this pattern over here, what have we observed? We have observed a very, very simple break and retest. And so this is the three-step pattern I want traders to understand, right? This is what your chart should look like. We are looking for a break, we are looking for a retest, and then we want to go short, right? So we are trying to go short in this region over here. This is where we want to be going short the most, right? So we're seeing this retest to the downside before going short. So again, order flow shows us very particularly that this is the move itself playing out. And so we did have, again, lower prices, you know, as we began to kind of melt beneath